Ever been, browsing online, maybe looking for like, I don't know, a new blender,
Mm-hmm.
and then bam, suddenly every website you go to is suddenly trying to sell you a blender.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the internet is reading your mind.
Right.
Well, in this deep dive, we're going to pull back the curtain on the fascinating and sometimes kind of creepy world of online advertising.
Yeah.
We're going to be dissecting Chapter 19 from this digital marketing textbook we've been going through. And this chapter breaks down like everything
Yeah.
from the different types of ads that you see to the really, sometimes very clever strategies behind them.
Well, and you know what's so interesting about online advertising, or what's also called display advertising? It's become such a part of our lives online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just banner ads anymore. We've all learned to tune those out.
Right.
But it's really a whole ecosystem designed to, honestly, like, influence us, influence our decisions, shape how we think about things.
So it's not just about getting us to click buy now.
Well, I mean, they would love that. But it's
No.
more than that. It
Right.
really is. The real objectives, when we talk about online advertising, it's a lot more, subtle.
Okay.
Think about building brand awareness or driving traffic to a website, or even just subtly kind of, swaying your opinion about a product or service.
Okay, so let's unpack the toolkit here.
Yeah.
What are like the weapons of choice
Mm.
in this whole digital marketing battle
Mm-hmm.
for our attention spans?
Well, you got your classics, right? Like your banner ads. You know those rectangular ones that are kind of strategically placed on websites, just hoping you'll glance at them?
Yeah.
And those have even evolved. I mean, they've gone from, static images to animated GIFs to even some that are like fully interactive multimedia experiences.
It's true, and yet they still kind of feel, I don't know, old school.
Mm.
Like they're just like the billboards on the side of the digital highway.
Right.
What about those ads that seem tailor-made for like whatever I'm reading or watching?
Oh, you're talking about responsive display ads,
Okay.
or RDAs.
RDAs, okay.
So, yeah, imagine, if you will, it's kind of like a chameleon ad. It adapts to whatever it's
Oh,
around.
that's cool.
Yeah, advertisers will actually, they provide all these different components, like the headlines, the descriptions, the images, all that. And then Google's algorithms take all of that and are like, okay, this is how we can put this together, in a way that fits perfectly, whether you're on your phone, your laptop, a tablet, you name it.
So it's not one ad fits all anymore. It's like custom tailored for your screen size.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty slick.
Yeah, RDAs are a direct response to the fact that, we're living in a multi-device world, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So these make sure that no matter what you're on, you're seeing that ad in the most effective way.
Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down with the whole chameleon ad thing.
Okay, good.
But this chapter also mentions some other formats that I'll admit I have given a ton of thought to.
Okay.
Like, what about the ads that, just pop up out of nowhere, completely take over your screen, you can't see anything else?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are interstitials. Okay.
And they're designed to kind of, appear during natural breaks as you're going through, like
Yeah.
maybe between loading screens or between articles.
Yeah, but those can be a little aggressive, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially when I'm really eager to get to, like, the content I actually clicked on.
Totally. And it's interesting, even Google, who is kind of the king of online advertising,
Mm-hmm.
they recognize that.
Yeah.
And they've actually been cracking down on what they're calling intrusive interstitials,
Mm-hmm.
which are basically the ones that, like you said, they just hijack your screen
Right.
and make it really difficult to get to the content you were trying to see.
Yeah. So it's almost like they're trying to find that sweet spot
Totally.
between, making money, but also not annoying people to death.
Okay, so we've got that. But what about, okay, this is something I've always wondered about. What about those articles that read like a regular article, but then you get to the bottom and it's like sponsored content?
Ah, yes. That, my friend, is native advertising.
Okay.
Think about those, advertorials you see in magazines. They kind of look and feel like a regular article, but a brand has actually paid for them.
Right.
So it's about blending in, being a little less in your face, and more about subtly trying to align that brand with, that topic.
Okay, so let's buy our product and more, hey, we're kind of cool and relevant to your interests, right?
Yes, exactly.
But how is that different from like suggested articles or those recommended for you sections? You see those at the end of like every article online now.
That is sponsored content. And while it's similar to native in that, it's paid promotion, sponsored content is usually very explicitly labeled.
So it's less about blending in seamlessly
Yeah.
and more about, I don't know, maybe writing the coattails
Yeah.
of content that you've already said that you're interested in.
Exactly. It's all very strategically placed to pique your interest. But let's not forget that there's a whole financial ecosystem behind these ads.
Right.
Have you ever wondered how these websites and these advertisers actually get paid?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're whipping out our wallets every time we see a banner ad or something.
Right. And that's where the real strategy comes in, you see. There are a few key ways that this money game is played.
Yeah, seriously, it's not like we're whipping out our credit cards every time one of those banner ads pops up, right?
Yeah.
So how does it work?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
Well, there are a few key models or ways that, websites and advertisers get paid for these ads.
Okay.
So let's start with the classic one, CPM,
CPM. Okay.
which stands for cost per mil, or sometimes you'll hear it as cost per thousand.
Okay.
And that mil or thousand refers to impressions.
Compressions. Okay. So, like, are we talking about first impressions here? Like, what your mom always warned you to make a good one?
Not exactly, no. Although good first impressions are always good in life.
True, true.
In advertising, though, an impression basically just means one single display of an ad.
Right.
So whether you click on it or not,
Got it.
CPM is all about visibility.
Okay.
Advertisers who are using this model, they're really just paying for the opportunity to get their brand in front of as many eyeballs as possible.
So, like, if your main goal is to just make sure people remember your brand, even if they don't, immediately click through to your website, maybe CPM's a good way to go.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about building that familiarity over time. But, what if you're an advertiser and you're looking for something a bit more immediate?
Yeah, like you want people to actually do something.
Right, like drive traffic to your site.
Right.
That's where we get CPC.
TPC. Okay.
Cost per click. So less about just being seen and more about those, hopefully valuable clicks.
Exactly. So with CPC, the advertiser, they only pay when somebody actually clicks that ad.
Which means they're getting a direct visit to their site for their advertising bucks.
Makes sense.
And you see CPC all the time, especially with search advertising.
Oh, yeah.
And you know those ads that appear at the top of your Google search?
That's right.
That's CPC.
Okay, it's all coming together now.
Right.
So you search for something specific, you see a relevant ad, you click on it, and boom.
Cha-ching.
Exactly. But then there was this other model, and this one I was a little curious about. This is CPA, which the textbook kind of presented as like the holy grail,
Yeah.
for advertisers.
Right. CPA, or cost per acquisition.
Okay.
That's the ultimate performance-based model.
Okay.
This is where the advertiser only pays when a specific action is taken.
Oh, wow.
So that could be a sale, it could be a form submission, a download, whatever the advertiser has decided is valuable.
Right. So CPA, if you think about it, it's really the least risky for them.
Right. In a
Right.
sense, yeah.
Because they're only paying when they actually get something out of it.
But then, I don't know, doesn't that put a lot of pressure on the website?
Oh, yeah.
That's hosting the ad. Because they have to make sure that it's actually converting visitors into, paying customers.
That's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
So CPA is super appealing to advertisers, for sure, but it's not quite as common for the publishers, the ones who actually own those websites that are posting the ads. Because, it takes more.
Right.
It takes making sure that ad is really enticing and engaging to get those conversions.
So it's a real team effort.
It is.
It's a dance.
Exactly.
But hold on a second. We can't forget about this whole programmatic buying thing that the book kept mentioning. Right.
Wasn't that, it was like robots taking over the advertising world or something?
Well, maybe not robots exactly.
Yeah.
You're on the right track, though.
Okay.
So basically, programmatic buying uses software, really sophisticated software, to automate buying ad space.
Okay.
So think of it kind of like the digital version of like Wall Street trading.
Oh, okay.
But instead of stocks, it's ad space being bought and sold at like lightning speed.
Wow, that is intense.
Yeah.
So there's no more, humans like, haggling over ad placements. It's algorithms just battling it out.
You got it. And it's not science fiction. This is happening right now.
Wow.
Programmatic buying really is kind of revolutionizing how this whole industry works, making the whole process way faster, way more efficient, and a lot of times cheaper for advertisers.
So it's a game changer, basically.
Yeah.
But with all this automation and like data analysis and, targeted messaging and all this, does it ever feel like, I don't know, maybe we're not really in control of what we see online?
Right.
Like, our choices are being, subtly influenced by all these invisible forces.
And that's a question a lot of people are asking these days.
Really so.
And it actually leads us perfectly into this next crucial aspect of online advertising, which is targeting.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's not just about getting your ads seen, it's about getting it seen by the right people at the right time.
Okay.
And that's where, I mean, things can get a little, big brother-ish, let's say.
Okay, so programmatic buying is connecting advertisers with, like, prime digital real estate.
Yeah.
But it happens so fast.
Yeah.
And then you layer on this whole targeting thing, and it feels like we're living in some kind of matrix.
I know, right? It can definitely feel that way sometimes. But really, at its core, targeting is just about making advertising, more relevant.
Right.
So instead of just like blasting everyone on the planet with the same generic message, advertisers can use all this data to really tailor their ads.
Okay.
So they can go after specific demographics, interests, even like your online behavior.
So instead of getting, like, denture cream ads when I'm shopping for sneakers,
Right.
I'll just be, bombarded with those cool limited edition kicks that I can't afford.
Exactly. Although, I mean, you never know. Those denture cream ads could be surprisingly accurate sometimes, too.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not quite there yet, but
No judgment.
no judgment.
Yeah.
But let's dig into some of those, targeting tactics you were talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the more, I guess, straightforward ones is geo-targeting,
Okay.
which basically just means showing you ads based on where you are.
Oh, so that's why I'm constantly getting ads for that, like, new pizza place.
Could be.
The one down the street from me.
Yeah.
It's like my phone's like, hey, pizza lover, look at this.
Right, exactly. Your phone knows what's up. But it's really all about connecting with consumers, on a local level.
Right.
But it goes way beyond just your physical location.
Okay.
Advertisers also use what's called day and time targeting.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever noticed, like, maybe you see more coffee ads in the morning?
Yeah.
Or maybe a few more, like, tempting takeout options around dinner time?
Mhm.
Okay, that's just creepy.
It's like they know.
It is. It's like they're reading my mind and my stomach.
They know when you're hungry. But what about those ads that seem to, like, follow you around online
Yes. Oh, my gosh, yeah.
after you've been, like, shopping for something specific?
Like, okay, so the other day I was looking at this vintage record player online, and let me tell you, that thing haunted my every move after that.
You just entered the world of remarketing, my friend.
Remarketing, okay?
Yeah, and it's actually a really powerful tactic.
Okay.
So advertisers, they basically drop a little digital cookie on your device after you visit their website or you view a certain product.
Sneaky, sneaky.
And that way, they can just keep reminding you, hey, remember that awesome thing you were looking at? You should totally buy it.
It can be yours. Oh, man, it's ingenious and yet slightly evil.
Right.
Like, how dare you tempt me with this, gorgeous record player that is totally not in my budget?
Exactly. But it sounds like all of this, relies on a massive amount of data.
Right.
Right. So are we talking about those digital dossiers I keep hearing whispers about?
Well, I don't want to get too conspiracy theory on you here, but
Okay.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. So every time you browse online or click a link or buy something, you're leaving this little trail of digital breadcrumbs.
Right.
And advertisers can use all those crumbs to create a pretty detailed profile of you, of your interests, your preferences, all of that.
And that's where this whole privacy conversation comes into play, right?
Right, exactly.
Because it's one thing to make ads more relevant, but it's another thing to feel like, I don't know, every move you make is being tracked and analyzed and, used against you.
It's a balance for sure. And it's something that, people are becoming more and more aware of.
Yeah.
But, with all this data, all these algorithms, all this targeting, we can't forget that there's still a human element to all this, too.
Right, because someone has to design these ads, right?
Exactly.
Write the catchy slogans, come up with these, crazy campaigns.
Exactly. And it actually reminds me of this really interesting case study that the book talked about, the Post-it note campaign.
Oh, yeah, Post-it notes. I think I vaguely remember this. Remind me what was so special about it.
Well, Post-it, they had this challenge, right? They were trying to figure out how to make retargeting, those ads that follow you around.
Right.
They wanted to make them less annoying,
Less creepy.
more engaging.
Okay.
So they came up with this really, really creative solution.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So instead of just showing people, the same old product ad over and over and over again, they actually turned their banner ads into, get this, virtual Post-it notes.
Oh, What?
Yeah. Users could actually, like, write themselves notes within the ad.
Get out of here.
Reminders, to-do lists, all right there in that little banner ad.
Wait, so they took something that was supposed to be an advertisement and made it actually useful.
Exactly.
That is brilliant.
It was genius.
Yeah.
And people loved
Of
it.
course they did.
And the results speak for themselves. The campaign, it had super high engagement. People actually liked it. They were talking about it online. So it just goes to show you, even in this crazy world of data and online advertising, a little creativity, that human touch, it goes a long way.
It really did. So I guess what we've learned here today is that this whole online advertising landscape, it's intense.
It is.
It's changing constantly. It's evolving. It's easy to feel, a little overwhelmed, maybe even a little skeeved out by it sometimes.
Totally.
But, it's also kind of amazing when you think about it, all this technology, all this data, and, yeah, the creativity that's driving it.
It's pretty wild.
It is pretty wild. So next time you're browsing online and you come face to face with, a cleverly targeted ad, just take a moment to think about everything that went into it. All the data, the algorithms, the late night brainstorming sessions, maybe even, jot down a little reminder to yourself on a virtual Post-it note.
Now, that's a call to action I can get behind.